All right, Phoebe, let's check out one of your runs up on Canyon last weekend, some GS free skiing. You're on your 188 30-meter fifth skis, so I know that it's a big ski. You're just getting used to them, but let's first check out your run in regular motion, then we'll slow it down. All right, you almost pushed me in the woods, but we all survived. All right, so let's check it out now and a little bit slower. You know, one thing about those skis is you clearly speed is your friend. So I know the light was flat and maybe you didn't want to get going too fast down with the lighting, but I'd get a lot more speed coming down for that pitch in the future. But I think the main thing, my takeaway from this is two things. Number one, we talked about it Sunday anyway, really trying to move the arms more forward, driving through, being active. Those skis in particular, we need to get into the front of the boot, be active through the transition and through the turn, keep pushing forward. But secondly, we've been talking about how do we get the feet off underneath us more? And clearly, that's got to be the goal. And I think, one of the main reasons you're having trouble is the inside foot, just doesn't really roll up as much. We can't get that. You're not able yet to get that on edge as much as the outside. And if the inside leg is, a little bit flatter, I think it's impossible to move inside the turn with the hip. So you start them off, you roll them up, kind of nicely here. We got some inclination at the top of the turn, and it's subtle, but the inside foot just isn't as rolled up. Let's take a look in here. Let's see if we can see it. Clearly the inside one is flatter than the outside, and it's not a really noticeable but a little bit of an A-frame there. But think about it, if you have your inside leg just a little bit flatter, you can't move the hip past it. It gets locked. But you got a lot of good things going here, by the way. I mean, you came through here, you got recentered, hips over the boots at the top of the turn. You got some inclination, which is fine. You've rolled them up. Starting the turn, looking pretty good there. Here's where we'd want to see the hip kind of drop in, move inside the turn, get a long outside leg, short inside leg, but that short one got to be rolled up to a high edge angle like the outside one. And I know it's not much, but it's a little bit less rolled up, and I think that's prohibiting you from moving the hip in. So there, right in here, it's just a little bit flatter. We'd like to see, obviously, right in this stage, to have this hip pulled in, and the feet, obviously, going the other way from underneath you. But I think that's really hurting you to be able to do that. And clearly here, I mean, obviously it's flatter and you're diverging, and I don't see you diverging, that often. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that divergence because it's not consistent. But the flatness of that inside ski, and you can think about it, and you can just, without your skis on, just stand up, and it's really hard if you have the inside leg flatter than the outside one. you can't get the hip past it. You got to roll that thing up. And there you can kind of see the inside one's kind of tough to see, but it was a little bit flatter than the outside one. And right there, we'd want to have both of those skis rolled up to high edge angles for platforms to push against and really utilize, pushing on the outside ski, and move that hip now at this stage, move that hip, inside, get your body inside the turn, move the hip in, towards the center of the arc, getting our feet out from underneath us, because it's got to be both feet. It's not just the outside. Get a little more speed here on this pitch. Starts off well. You got, good motion. Like I said, hips over the boots, top of the turn. Rolled them up. You got some inclination. Here's where I like to see you move to the inside with the body and hip while maintaining, of course, level shoulders. But you can see the outside ski is just a little more angled than the inside. So you can see the angle. You can see the angle of the shins. We're looking for parallel shafts of the shins in here, and then extension of the outside leg. But you can see it's definitely a little more A-framey, so that inside one not as angled, prohibiting you to move in. So we end up being kind of, like I told you last year a couple times, looks like you're dropping into a tuck somewhere around the panel, because we're having trouble getting the feet off from underneath us. But so back to hands. I think if we can move them just more forward, it's going to help. This part of the turn, get your elbows by your side. Elbows should be in front of the torso, so drive them forward through the turn. Oops, don't need that. And I think you could see that. I could see more of the base of your outside ski than the inside ski. So, the outside ski is angled more, than that inside ski. So, and that's just gonna lock you up in the hip, and we can't get it to move past that ski. So that inside ski is going to be under you. But that's my suggestions. Work on moving the hands forward and trying to really roll up that inside ski to a matching high edge angle similar to the outside one, enabling you to then really extend the outside leg, getting that one long and moving the body inside the turn a bit and getting the feet, both feet, out from underneath you. Try that out, and hopefully that will help.